initially started with 8 people and then grew over a short span of time to almost more than 400 plus employees.
Yeah, that's correct.
So share with us, what's the secret behind this amazing business strategy?
Oh, it's a bit boring, and I'd love to say that we reinvented the wheel, but we really didn't. We just tried to treat people the way that, I would like to be treated. I'd been in the market for a long time as a broker and, putting together deals and helping other brokers. And eventually I just thought that for brokers, I wanted to make sure there was a business that was built around those guys.
Okay.
So that's what led me to opening White & Co. And now, 4.5 years down the line, we're one of the most successful brokerages in Dubai, and it doesn't happen without having amazing people around you. So between myself, the management, the brokers, and everyone in between, the marketing team, the admin team, you name it, whoever, it takes a village, is the saying.
In just 4.5 years, White & Co. has transformed from a small startup to one of Dubai's leading real estate brokerages, expanding from a team of 8 to over 400 dedicated brokers and staff. This remarkable growth hasn't just come from hard work and ambition. It stems from a fundamental principle set by CEO and founder Calum White. If you look after the broker will look after the client. Today, we'll explore how Mr. Calum identified the gap in the market by recognizing the need for a supportive environment for his brokers, in stark contrast to the traditional, pressure-driven mindset of many real estate firms. Join us as we dive into the inspiring journey of White & Co. and uncover the secrets behind their explosive success. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of GNTALKS. Please welcome with me today a very special guest, Mr. Calum White. How are you doing today?
I'm very good. Thank you so much.
We are so excited to have you with us today on set, especially to hear more about your business story and also to get to know you more. So first of all, I would like to congratulate you for the business, especially that you guys initially started with 8 people and then grew over a short span of time to almost more than 400 plus employees.
Yeah, that's correct.
So share with us, what's the secret behind this amazing business strategy?
Oh, it's a bit boring, and I'd love to say that we reinvented the wheel, but we really didn't. We just tried to treat people the way that, I would like to be treated. I'd been in the market for a long time as a broker and, putting together deals and helping other brokers. And eventually I just thought that for brokers, I wanted to make sure there was a business that was built around those guys.
Okay.
So that's what led me to opening White & Co. And now, 4.5 years down the line, we're one of the most successful brokerages in Dubai, and it doesn't happen without having amazing people around you. So between myself, the management, the brokers, and everyone in between, the marketing team, the admin team, you name it, whoever, it takes a village, is the saying.
100%. And also, the reputation in the UAE here, everyone likes to know about, a company that has a very positive reputation, especially amongst its own employees. So I also heard that you guys have a 4-day week work structure. So I'm sure many that are watching now would be a little bit jealous with the 4-day work, especially that there's some sort of flexibility.
Yeah.
So elaborate more. Why did you choose that?
So we looked at where the business was going, and every single year we started off very, very structured and making sure that things went that way, because you have to as a new business. You have to make sure you get the structure in place. And as we continued seeing revenue increase, recruitment increase, and all facets of our business was going very well, we went, what could we do that's going to make everyone even happier, more flexibility? Real estate is a 24/7 job. So even though they have Fridays not in the office, they never stop. But what would allow them to, have their own day on a Friday? And now we moved that to the 4-day working week. It was a big worry when we first started.
Okay.
But after it's now been 6 months of that, we can see it's not affected revenue. It's not affected anything apart from just making people more positive and have more time to themselves.
That's amazing. Let's learn more about the mission, the vision of the company. So share more details about that.
Yeah, so the vision of the company, in all honesty, when I first opened, my goal was to have a company that was more than just a real estate brokerage. I wanted it to, because like I said, real estate is a 24/7 job.
Yes.
So therefore, if it's 24/7, it's life.
True.
So I wanted to create a company that was more of a lifestyle and then a business. And then, you would have so many different aspects to that. And now I think that where I see the business going. We just want to keep making sure that we look after our clients. I want to keep making sure that as a business owner and as a business, we change people's lives. So we might change brokers' lives by helping them earn a lot of money. We might change buyers' lives by helping them find amazing investments. We might find people who are looking for their next home to find their dream home. So really, the whole thing is just creating a business that's just providing unstoppable value, just constantly giving out value and trying to help people.
Amazing. So how does White & Co., differentiate itself amongst other competitors in the real estate
Well, no,
industry?
it's really interesting because the size of us, we're the biggest agency for our age, which means now we compare to the older agencies. So example, our competitors are all 15 years in the market plus. What I think they have is they have a reputation that is much longer than ours. It's stood the test of time a bit longer. So what we need to do is work harder. Because you can't out-network, but you can outwork.
100%.
So with our brokers, we try to instill a level of, work ethic, a level of knowledge, a level of track record. And, the market is moving so fast now. There's never been a better time for our brokers.
100%. So let's learn more about you. How did you get into this industry? Was this a passion of yours?
Yeah, so I was an estate agent in the UK, in Scotland. And then I moved to Dubai. But what I found in the UK is the UK for me wasn't set up to propel me into my next position and up the ladder. The UK for me was, you're only 20 years old, stay there until we tell you can move higher. And that's the way that a lot of places are set up. Whereas when you come to Dubai, it's the land of opportunity.
100%.
It's a place where your performance matters, not just your experience.
True.
You may have someone that has been doing a job 10 years, but you may have someone that joins the business 1 year and they're doing better than the person that's been there 10 years. Who should get that? So it's a very interesting thing. I really like the idea of there being a sales board where everyone is on the same level. So that's how that kind of happened. And since I moved here 10 years ago, I've never looked back.
Oh, so you've been here for 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years.
Okay, so when you initially started, what are some of the challenges that you might have faced?
As a broker or as a business owner, sorry?
As a broker and then as a business owner.
So as a broker, you move here. And when I moved here, I knew one person. And then he unfortunately left Dubai. And so I was by myself. And you know what it's like when you move to Dubai? You've got so many distractions. I think distractions are a big thing for people because when you move here as a 21-year-old,
100%.
you can get caught up in the Dubai life. And I didn't, but I'm saying that was something that I had to keep away from. There's always someone who has a birthday or a party or, stay away from that sort of stuff. And then that led me to, keeping my head down, working hard and making money. But then as a business owner, something I really struggled with in the beginning of opening my business was thinking that every single person is going to be like you. So remember, you're the CEO. So therefore, they don't have to be like you. They're all going to be different. They're all going to have different motivations. It's not their business as well, so they're not going to care about it as much as you care about it. And it was just something that I had to get my head around. And over the years, we've got a lot more people bought into the business because of the vision. But in the beginning, it wasn't as easy.
So what is one message that you would want to share to the young entrepreneurs that potentially one day want to be in your shoes? What would you tell them?
First of all, there's 3 different kinds of people. There's the realist, the cynic, and then the visionary. Every single goal you have, be visionary. People will go like, that sounds crazy. That like, look at Dubai as a place. Palm Jumeirah, that'll never happen. Look at it now. Tallest tower in the world, Burj Khalifa. Look at it now. This is a place where if you're visionary and you go, I'm going to go for that sort of goal, it can happen. And when I took an office of 16,000 square feet with 8 people, everyone said, oh, that's crazy. But you look at it now and you go, oh, that's amazing. So at the time, it always looks crazy. But once it pays off, you look back and it makes a lot of sense. So be a visionary. Don't be cynical. Don't sit thinking things are going to go bad. And don't be a realist. Because also being a realist, just be realistic. You'll never find someone out there that's made something amazing that said, I was just realistic.
100%. I'm very inspired by your words, and I'm sure that's going to touch many hearts.
I hope so.
Especially that people, are starting off or there's a lot of people young people come to Dubai. They also get distracted with the Dubai lifestyle and they come with a dream, but eventually consistency, motivation, determination,
that's it,
they reach. Let's learn more about the diversity in your workplace.
Yeah, Please. So I'll break it down into, first of all, we never set out to ever do this, but we looked at it more recently, and about 50% of our entire staff is female. So it's not the norm in a real estate company, and it wasn't something we sat down and went, let's hire. It just happened that way.
Okay.
So we've never ever put out we're only empowering women, and for me, I don't really, in all honesty, I couldn't care less if someone is a man or a woman.
Okay.
If you're good at the job, that's what matters.
Okay.
And the women in real estate and the men in real estate, they're both unbelievable. And at White & Co, it's not something we ever sat and went, let's hire this amount of women because we've got this amount of men. It just happened that way. And it was really, really amazing, because sometimes I speak to other friends who may be in the industry and, they might not have as many. And I go, really, is that how it works? So it's a really interesting thing about the diversity there.
That's amazing, especially, because we live in an Arab society, and women empowerment took a lot of years to reach to where it is right now. So I'm sure the woman now will be very happy, especially that you treat everyone equally, whether it was a man, whether it was a woman. Both of them have high potential. So tell us more about your strategic decisions when it comes to the industry. How do you do them? Like, is it something related to market research? Is it related to internal structures?
The good thing right now is I'm still so heavily involved with the business day to day. Like every single morning I'm in the office, every day, okay? So therefore I still have my ear to the ground. I still know what's going on. I can still see agents doing deals. I can still feel where the market is.
So you're very involved?
Yes, I am. But whenever I make a decision, I've got an amazing team around me, of people that I can trust.
Okay.
So sometimes I make decisions and they're terrible. And those guys will say to me, Calum, I don't know about that. And then other times I'll make a decision that'll be a great idea and it pays off. So I think something very important is, first of all, knowing what's going on. Don't make decisions just because you think it might be. You have to look at the data, you have to look at, the market, and you have to really dissect it, especially when you have 400 people.
100%.
Because you're dealing with 400 people's lives.
Correct.
And then separately to that, have good people around you that will call you out when it's a bad idea and support you when it's a good idea. Because we all have bad ideas, it happens.
You think that you have bad ideas?
Yeah, I've
Really?
lots of bad ideas.
That's so modest.
But people stop me from making the bad decisions.
Okay.
It's okay to have a bad idea.
Okay.
But if you have a bad idea and you implement it, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
They stop me before we implement it.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a great approach actually to look at things. So for those that are watching us now, where exactly is your office located?
Our office is in Motor City, so we have 3 floors in a tower called Control Tower. At the time that I took that tower, it was we were in the middle of COVID.
Oh.
So I actually took that. It was, like I said, a very large office, and in all honesty, I put all my money into it, and it was a place I could afford.
Okay.
Now in that tower, there's lots and lots of real estate companies because it's a really good position in Dubai. Like being in Motor City, it's sort of 20 minutes from everywhere.
Okay.
So from there, 20 minutes to Marina, 20 minutes to the Palm, 20 minutes to downtown,
Correct.
so on and so, Meydan, you name it. So it's a really strategic position. I didn't plan that.
Okay.
I'm not going to pretend I was like, I thought ahead, and I thought I really wanted an office, and that was the one that fit the space, and that one that fit the budget, and I went for it.
Can you share with us like a success story that happened with you, when that switch happened, and you slowly grew in rapid speed?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
What do you think, what happened that created?
Of course. I think our biggest success to get us to the amount of people that we have, and see, hiring people isn't successful. But then again, we train them well, so therefore, I know that every single person we hire, it technically means we're becoming more successful.
Okay.
So when we are hiring people, most people that we hire are actually referrals from people who already work for us.
Okay.
So therefore, we must be doing something right. And I think something really successful that we've done, to answer your question, is we treat people nice. They understand that we care. Because if we didn't treat people nice and we didn't care about them, they wouldn't tell their friend, come work here.
100%.
They wouldn't tell their family, come work here.
True.
And we have some people in there that are, related to each other, mums and daughters, or so on, which is really fun.
Are you guys hiring now, in case there's anyone watching that wants to be
Always hiring. I will be honest, our selection process compared to what it was in year one is way more structured and way more way more. We dive in a lot more. In year one, we used to just come work in real estate, but now we are very selective about who we bring in because we don't want any poisonous characters. We need to make sure that you fit our culture. Okay. And if you're not right for White & Co, there are so many real estate companies to work at, no problem. But we do hire, but it's a process.
Okay. So at least now they have an answer for that. How do you see the future real estate industry in the UAE?
First of all, as far as the market, I see the market continuing to rise or at least staying at the same level. It will not go down.
Okay.
I promise you that.
It will not go down.
It will not go down. I've seen a few studies recently. Oh, we're going to have a 15% drop. It will not go down. All you need to look at is visas being put in the country versus properties handing over.
Okay.
It's very simple. Like, we don't need to go into all this mumbo jumbo, this and that. Are enough people moving here?
A lot of people are moving to
Dubai.
Dubai.
We're at 10% population growth. The market cannot keep up with the amount of people moving here. And then on top of that, things that some people might think about is, yeah, but it says there's this many properties handing over. Are they in key areas where people want to live or where majority of people live? So there's lots of different factors. But for the market, as far as prices, they'll continue to rise or at least stay the same. I think they'll continue to rise.
Okay.
And then on the aspect of the market in general, I think that the market right now is in a very good position. The market is maturing. And the land department, the DLD, those guys over there, they are doing a really good job of making things better for brokerages and for the market.
Okay, amazing. What do you believe are some characteristics that a brokerage should have that'll make that person stand out?
The brokerage or the broker, sorry?
Sorry, the broker.
The broker, yeah, absolutely. So first of all, don't be a tour guide. You need to be a specialist.
Okay.
So that comes from knowledge.
Okay.
They need to know every single thing about where they're selling property.
Okay. Would you hire someone that has no experience in the market but has information about the industry itself?
Yes, we can teach this stuff. We can hire anyone because the thing is, as long as you have a good work ethic and an eagerness to learn, we can teach you everything about real estate. We can't teach you how to have a good work ethic and we can't teach you to want to learn.
Okay.
So as long as someone is willing to learn and work hard, we can teach everything else.
There's a stereotype regarding people that work in real estate. They're all good looking. They're all charming. What do you think?
Thank you. No.
Yeah. What do you think about this stereotype? Because for real, you see them. They're all, charismatic people, charming people. Do you think that's just by chance, or are they recruited as part of one of these characteristics?
No, I think it would be very silly to say that everyone there is good looking and everyone's charismatic. And again, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. At the end of the day, there will be people that are good looking. There are people that are maybe not good looking to certain people. It's not about that. The point is no matter how good looking someone is, no one is going to go and spend £2 million with you or 10 million dirham with you if you're not knowledgeable, if you don't have confidence, if you don't have a track record, if you don't have something to actually bring some value. So that idea of thinking that this place is just glitz and glam and everything's like selling sunsets, and it's not like that. And I think it's a big detriment to brokers who work really hard to think it's down to, their looks or down to anything else. Being charismatic is great. That's what salespeople naturally are, but we're not as salesy as what sales used to be. Nowadays, it's more about assuring people and educating them on what they're buying, not telling people, buy this, buy this. That's not how we sell.
Okay. So we're breaking that stereotype.
Yes, we're breaking that stereotype.
There's also a fundamental principle that you always say, if you look after the broker will look after the client. Elaborate more.
As a broker in this market, and I worked at some lovely companies, I have nothing bad to say about them. I felt at times that when things were going well, things are great for you. And then you have a bad month and you're forgotten about. I also felt like I didn't get trained enough. I felt like I was dropped onto the floor and said, off you go. And things have paid off well for me, but not everyone is myself and not everyone is going to get that same sort of thing. I saw a lot of things that I liked at these companies. I saw things I didn't like at these companies. And I thought, when I have my own, I'm going to take all the good stuff and I'm going to put that into what White & Co is. And all the bad stuff I didn't like, I'm going to leave that behind. And that's what we've done. And I think it's so important when people are moving, when majority of our people, I'll be honest with you, 80% of our workforce are probably from the UK or from Europe. Okay. 80% of those people have moved over thousands and thousands of miles to come work at White & Co. I want to make sure that they enjoy working there. I want to make sure that they're cared about. I want to make sure that they get all the help that they need to be the most successful they can be. If they're successful, they make money. If they make money, the company makes money. If the company makes money, we can reinvest it. If we reinvest it, they make more money. Everyone wins. And then on the basis of making money, the money's a byproduct of the amazing service we're going to give clients.
Amazing.
That's the main point. Everyone, the commission. Forget the commission. You get commission because you're doing a good job for the client. That's what I think is important.
Very interesting. I can sense that you're a very motivated person. How do you maintain this motivation, especially when things get hard sometimes?
Things are not hard where I am. I have good people around us.
Okay.
And there's nothing that can't be fixed.
Okay.
We can fix everything. Any problems that we have, a broker has an issue, we can fix it. If management have an issue, together we put our heads together, we fix it. I think that we just the easiest way to solve problems is with action. We work out what we need to do and we implement it. We don't sit around going like, oh, it's really hard just now. It's not what we do. So I can only speak for myself.
Okay.
But how do I stay motivated? When things are bad, then, it's perception. What's bad?
100%.
We live in Dubai. It's the hottest market it's ever been.
Correct.
There's over 400 people trying to work to make this money. There's nothing bad.
Who was your support system?
Definitely my friends who are here.
Okay.
So my friends I always call my friends, or your family you can choose. So I have a lot of good friends out here. I also have my management team, which most of them now are my close friends as well.
Okay.
So again, between those people there, they keep me right and they keep me grounded. And yeah, they're amazing people, and it's tough to deal with me. I'm not normal, so when I deal with these guys, they do an amazing job of fixing everything.
For the viewers and the listeners that are watching us now, if you were to recap the company in a couple of sentences, what would you say? White & Co. is?
White & Co. is an agency that, regardless of our size, will never lose our identity. We care about the brokers, and by caring about the brokers, we're going to provide an amazing service to our clients. As the market moves and matures and transforms, so will White & Co., but we'll never lose who we are.
Very nice message. Is there anything that you'd like to share from you as a CEO, as the founder of the company, to our audience?
Yeah, good point, actually. Sorry, I should have probably prepared something for that.
No, actually, we like it to be very spontaneous.
Okay, spontaneous. To the audience, let's assume, Gulf News, these are people that are obviously interested in business. And right now, there has never been a more exciting time in Dubai, I believe. I've been here 10 years. Some people have been here way longer than me, some people less. The opportunity everywhere in Dubai right now, I've never seen anything like it. And I think right now is the time to take risks. I think right now is the time to, continue on this amazing thing that Dubai has built and, open that business, make that change, try new things. And if you're unhappy, you're not a tree, move. You know what I mean? Like what you're not changing, you're choosing.
True.
So I think that's really important. Don't be in the greatest city on earth, not doing what you think is a great thing. So, Can you share with us an inspirational story that happened with you that changed who you are and became the person that you are today? As soon as I moved to Dubai, I always knew I'd have a real estate company. But when I opened a real estate company, I didn't think it would be as hard in year one as it was. Okay. We opened the company, I thought, high commissions. I've been a broker for a long time. I've got a good reputation. We're going to do some amazing things. I was offering brokers come over here and no one was coming. And the first 3 months, it was really, really I was like, if this doesn't pay off, this is all gone. And, I just signed a 5-year lease on this office. I just signed up with, all the portals and paid all that money. And I was like, this doesn't pay off. And then month 3 came and one of our brokers is still there today. Camilla, she did a very large deal, which from that moment put us right into profit. Okay. So from, a new business, usually it takes a few years to get into profit. True. And, we were in profit within 3 months and it's never changed since that. And I think the emotional part of the whole thing that I'm trying to get to is without Camilla doing that for the business, and now, do you know what? Every couple of weeks, or maybe even weekly, I have a broker in the company that now is paying for mum or dad's mortgage. I now have a broker in the company who's able to fly their family over business class. I now have brokers who are like, I get messages that say, you've helped me change my life. I can't believe this. What would I do without White & Co? And the biggest problem that I've got with it, it's so touching, it's so nice. The biggest problem that I've got is these guys are doing it themselves as well. It's not all White & Co. We're the platform, we give them the tools, we try and help. But from an emotional side, and I'm not the most emotional guy, but sometimes I do sit down and go like, wow, we're really changing people's lives here. And you know, it's just times when I'm by myself, I think about that and I go like, that's one of the reasons it keeps me motivated.
Okay.
Imagine every day going into the office and knowing you might be changing someone's life. Like, how could you not be motivated?
Amazing message. And would you ever expand outside the UAE?
Not just now. Even in the UAE, we've not ventured to Abu Dhabi yet, which people keep asking me about, and then also looking at Saudi and other places like that.
Yeah.
We have so much to do in Dubai that too many people, when they have a business, they start going like, oh, things are going well here, let's just go do it here. I want to make sure that we set our foundation and our focus. We're still only 4.5 years old. The biggest problem would, imagine we went to go somewhere else and it didn't work out. We'd be, all the investment that would go into that could be going into where we are now. So I think that right now that's on the back burner. There's no idea of moving anywhere else or doing anything else. We just want to continue growing what White & Co is at the moment.
Makes sense. Well, it was a pleasure to have you with me today on GNTALKS. And thank you so much for sharing all of your experiences.
Silly, thank you so much.
I'm sure it was very fruitful to our listeners and audience today. Is there one last message that you want to share before we end the episode?
One last message. There's a lot of messages to the audience. Just do what you want to do, because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. Just, you know, focus on yourself and be motivated, work harder than everyone else, and everything's going to pay off.
Amazing. And that was a recap for GNTALKS. We'll see you next time with another successful business in the UAE and globally. Take care.